And I want you to give a warm welcome from Orlando, Florida, motivational speaker, Dave Martin.
Well, good morning. Before you sit down, look at someone next to you. Tell them the rest of your life. Oh, say it like you're awake this morning. Tell them the rest of your life will be the best of your life. Now, how many believe that? The rest of your life is going to be the best of your life. You can be seated. I've been saying the rest of my year is going to be the best of my year. How many believe you still have some good things happen to you this year? It's not over yet. We still got a couple of months left. I believe God can do more in the last 2 months of this year than he did in the first 10 months of this year. I'm expecting some good things. Well, it's always good to be at the Increase event and be a part of what God's doing. I love being around the people you get to be around. That's one of my favorite parts of this event, are the people that you get to be around. I didn't grow up around people like this. I mean, you got executives and business owners, and I mean, I grew up in a small town. I mean, the biggest industry in our town was a 300-pound Avon lady. Making sure y'all are awake this morning. So it was a small town, but I'm excited to be around people that believe in increase and are expecting good things, and it's always good to be in Palm Springs. Listen, if you got a pen and paper, I'm going to give you a couple things real quick. I want to talk to you about the Power Twins. The Power Twins. When you were young, we had superheroes, and you had those two twins that would, become the Power Twin. They could, I become a whatever. Well, I've got Power Twins in my life that help me to succeed and achieve and reach everything that God has for me to reach. I'm going to talk to you about two of them, one today and one tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk about wisdom. Wisdom and favor are the Power Twins. Wisdom and favor. You'll be amazed at what you can do and what you can accomplish with a little bit of wisdom and a whole lot of favor. But wisdom is God's answer to your natural problems. Wisdom is God's answer to your natural problem. Ecclesiastes 10:10 says, wisdom brings success. In Ecclesiastes 9:16, it says that wisdom is better than strength. That's why you're here, because you're into wisdom. You desire to learn something. That shows us a lot about you, that you were willing to show up, take time out of your schedule and everything you had to do to come and to receive some wisdom. Because the only problem you'll ever have in life is a wisdom problem. You don't have financial problems, you have wisdom problems. You don't have marriage problems, you have wisdom problems. A lot of times you don't have health problems, you just have wisdom problems. When I used to travel with Benny Hinn, I'd see people come stand in line 6 hours to get into a Benny Hinn meeting to get a healing. Now, they wouldn't get up 30 minutes early and get on a treadmill. No, they didn't want health, they just wanted healing. And so when you understand wisdom and the value of wisdom, Abraham Lincoln said, I love this quote, he said, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours. What does that mean? A wise person doesn't feel that he's wasting time by preparing himself or sharpening his axe. He knows that he is preparing for success. The Bible tells us wisdom is the principal thing. It's amazing. You can go in the secular arena and go into businesses and corporations, and it's amazing how much they're into wisdom and how much they want to learn, how much they want to know. You come to a church event and, well, we're just trying to get there in time. We don't understand the value of wisdom. Proverbs says that wisdom is the principal thing. Get wisdom. How do you get it? Well, there's a lot of ways to get it. You can buy it. You can make some mistakes. There's a lot of ways to get it, but it talks about the value of it in our life. How many have ever needed a miracle from God, needed God to do something? Now, how many could think back, if I'd have known some things before I got to that place, I'd have never needed that miracle. Wisdom is better than miracles. The more wisdom you have, the less miracles that you're going to need. So you got to understand. People say, well, I believe in this season with economic crisis and everything that's going on in our country, I believe now we need wisdom more than ever. Because I believe with godly wisdom and strategies, that's the difference between us and the world, is we have godly wisdom and strategies to direct us and guide us in every area of our life. And so I'm always looking for God's wisdom. What got me into wisdom? Well, being around so many dumb people. Making mistakes. My uncle, just the kind of people I grew up around, my uncle's CPA told him he needed a tax shelter. He thought that was a place to hide from IRS agents. Just the kind of people I grew up around. One of my friends in high school had a job at at a drugstore, and he never knew what to tell the people. People come in, needed something, he never knew what to tell them, and the boss is like, listen, if you can't figure this out, I'm gonna have to fire you. Just the kind of people I grew up. You'll understand why I'm into wisdom. So he never knew what to tell me. He said, listen, next person that comes in here, if you can't give them the right information, exactly what they need, I'm gonna have to let you go. And so he's a little bit nervous about it, and all of a sudden this guy walks in, and the manager just kind of steps out of the way. The guy's coughing. He said, I got a terrible cough. What should I take? And he had to think quick, and he turned around and he said, here's some X-Lax. And he said, I got a cough. He said, here, trust me, take this. Open the box. He said, take the whole thing. So he took the whole thing of X-Lax. He said, that should help you. He paid for it and went out the door. He didn't get quite to his car when something hit him. And, he was kind of leaning against his car. And the boss came and said, what happened? He said, what was his problem? He said, he had a cold. He said, he had a bad cough. He said, well, what'd you give me? He said, I gave him X-Lax. He said, X-Lax, how is that going to help him stop coughing? He said, believe me, he's not going to cough. That's just the kind of people